Anda sedang mendengar Syok Podcast. Syok.
Sembang Ber-ART. Okay, selamat datang ke episod Sembang Ber-ART yang terbaru. Nama saya Aliff.
Dan saya Zoul.
First and foremost, kepada sesiapa yang dengar daripada mula
Okay.
sampailah sekarang, we want to say thank you. Terima kasih
Thank you
sebab
so much. Terima kasih sangat-sangat.
kita orang appreciate sangat korang suka dengar podcast ni. And kita orang tak akan pergi mana-mana. Kita akan keep going.
Yes, betul.
And
so
like
far,
untuk episod ni, kita ada another guest.
Another guest yang bagi I special lah. Sebab the canvas is quite different. Tapi dia dekat dengan kita.
Kita ada Po in the house.
Welcome, bro.
Okay lah, not in the house lah, in the studio. In the studio lah. Hi Po. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Po. I'm Apo. You can call me Po.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too. Maybe untuk kita ice breaking dulu, you can introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Apo, and I'm originally from Johor, and I work in KL for more than 10-15 years already. Currently, I'm working with Wayangkuli Tattoo Shop. It's in Sembang, and I'm also a freelance illustrator at the same time. Yeah, but full-time tattoo artist.
Illustrator.
Yeah.
So you buat both lah, maknanya a tattoo artist.
Yes.
And then illustrator beyond that working hour.
Yeah, daytime tattoo artist and nighttime illustrator. Juggle in both places right now.
Selalunya tattoo macam kita akan buat malam macam tu ada sebab dalam movies ke
betul.
apa, you know.
Yeah, those are like fake ones. It's just
This is
for
the real
like
one.
for neon lights and everything. But tattoo artist is it's a full-time job now because we have to rush design and do tattoo on skin. So
I
yeah.
see.
Bila you mention like you full-time tattoo artist during daytime kan, yelah macam you cakap, because kita always tengok movies like TV series, and it's always malam, which I understand bila you mention macam because they want to bring out the neon,
Yeah.
you know, like
Coolness of it.
the coolness of it.
the
So
vibe.
bila you cakap like morning, so I macam tak boleh nak imagine.
Tattoo is a very time-consuming job because we're not just like rushing design and do tattoo on skin. So normally takes about 6 to 8 hours maybe to get a tattoo done. So imagine we start late. We're gonna work like till midnight, which is not very good for the health. So our working hours mostly the same with everyone else.
6 to 8
Yeah.
hours.
It can be that long. It can be
Like-
like just half an hour, 1 hour, but the preparation and everything, it could take this much.
So basically it depends on the size of the art ke macam mana? The design.
Depends on the design, how big it is, and also depends on the skin conditions. Because some people, imagine if you're doing it on the waist, it's a bit more soft and everything. It probably takes a little bit more hour. It takes a lot of energy while working on it. So if you work late, that means your energy will get low, and then you don't have the feeling of working. It's like if imagine your boss asking you to OT all the time. It's just very time consuming. It's a normal job for us. I have time for nighttime to do illustrations.
Okay. So apa, basically you start off as a tattoo artist dulu ke ataupun ada pekerjaan sebelum ni?
So I started working in KL as a designer. My office actually is working for a game. So what I usually do is they have stuff that's sent overseas. I have to make it into a brochure, a website, the thing that they need to promote in Malaysia. So that's the thing that I do, but I don't have any creative input to it. So I think I work for 1.5 years. I know a friend that was in tattoo scene. So I was hanging out that specific tattoo shop for about a year plus, and I find it quite interesting. And then they introduced me to my master at the time. So he was like, "Hey, I think you have potential. Like, why not just join us if you're ever interested in it?" So I think it took me a few months to think like what kind of stuff that I want to do in the future. So I decided to like, why not just quit my design job and try something new? So then I started to get into tattoo scene, which is pretty fun. It's been more than 10 years now.
So during that time, do
Yeah.
you ever imagine yourself being a tattoo artist?
Nope. I know there are a lot of people like, oh, I want to be a tattoo artist since I was a kid and all this, but it's not for me because I don't really have a plan what I want to do in the future. I know I'm going to do something related to art, but tattoo was like, oh, maybe it's a nice idea from the Miami Ink, the TV show.
Yes.
But I wouldn't see myself in that position because before becoming a tattoo artist, I'm actually a very shy person. I don't really talk that much. So I wouldn't see myself like, engaging with clients, make people cry when they see their tattoos, or make people feel pain. But when I slowly start to get into it, I'm like, seems like a nice path that I could further explore and everything. Now, even thinking back now, like, damn, I have been working this for like 10 years plus.
10 years lama.
Yeah.
Lama.
Imagine a job that you do more than 10 years and still
Yeah.
loving it. It's really incredible.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
if you dah work like for 10 years pun and you still love what you're doing.
Yeah. It's a love and hate.
It's a win lah.
Yeah.
It's a win.
Yeah.
It's a win. Yeah.
It's I'm really blessed to
Yeah.
say that I'm actually working as a dream job that I never thought I would be. I'm very lucky and blessed to be in this position now.
I like
see.
that. I like that. Dia macam unplanned tau.
Betul.
Because like kita tak terfikir pun nak jadi like something or someone lah, for example, right?
Betul.
And then 10 years after, you macam like, this is my calling.
Yeah.
Like,
It built up a lot of love at the same time because I know I put a lot of hardship into this thing, and then there is time that it's very, very difficult for me to break through it. But you know you have to work through it because you want the result and you love it so much. So I think the love, not just like purely love, but you know that you work so hard for this thing, and then it just become more and more like appreciation and grateful for the work that I'm doing.
So when do you realize this is your call?
So I was trying to find my position in this industry. I don't want to just produce like nice art, that's it. Because I always think that if you just do pretty things, that's just like a nice thing to look at on the surface. I try to do something more that on the inside. So I think at one point I was pretty struggling of what I'm going to do with my work. I feel like, okay, I think I'm at the point that I don't know how to move on from it. I just wanted to find like, why did I start loving this thing from the start? So I look back a lot of YouTube videos that I watch about tattoo artists and everything. It's not just like technical things, it's just how they talk about their lives being as tattoo artists and how they do their art thing, because I'm also an artist at the same time. Then I met this client who wants something a bit more abstract. He wants a design that's a bit more abstract, something about her story. That's not something that I usually do for their work. So I was like, oh, why not just take it as a challenge? And I hear her story and make into a tattoo. And I remember that when she saw the art piece that I draw for her for the tattoo, she was crying. And then the first thing she did was she hugged me. At that moment, there's no words. It's just that moment I'm like, okay, I think I did something incredible at that moment. I don't know what it is, but I feel good. So then I'm like, okay, I want to do this more. So it just kept pushing me to elevate from there.
it's so early that we get macam this type of story, faham tak? Dia selalu macam
Yeah.
towards the end baru guys kita cerita benda-benda emotional ni. Po masuk, okay guys, ni cerita emotional for you guys.
Yes.
And because like I understand when you mention about you watch videos to inspire yourself, you know, not only like the technical part on like how they macam design tattoo ke apa kan, tapi you dengar cerita-cerita diorang juga, like so you take diorang punya story, jadikan inspiration, it kind of macam fuel you punya passion macam
I
lagi.
think the most important thing about humans being a human. I don't want things to be just on the surface, like, oh, it's nice, that's it. There's no stories behind it. Of course, we sometimes have things that's fun that doesn't have to mean anything, but the beauty of it being a human, like you can cry, you can laugh about it, you can just like, oh, it's like, it's okay and all this. The moment she cried, I just felt that nothing has to be perfect. And then I wish that my art can bring out more, maybe emotions or like our heartfelt moments. So when they have it, it's more than just a piece of art. It's something that they really recording in that moment of their life. I'm not too sure it's that how tattoo started, but back in the days, those Marines, when they get tattoo done, they probably remember some loved one. That's what they wanted to put it on the skin. Or then when we have like a more gory theories that when they pass away, people found their body, they can recognize by the tattoo. Yeah, because they went for wars and stuff. So it's all about like human connections and how they want to be remembered and all this. So I wish this is something that they could remember, and then it will help them to move on with their life if it's possible. Or they just felt very happy about it.
It's like macam kalau kita dengar lagu and then kita akan remember certain moment because that songs that time kita tengah melalui or going through certain something.
Yeah.
So sama juga dengan tattoo, like tapi tattoo the different is kala and so that kita akan tahu like this is for something lah. There's a story behind that tattoo. That is like the beauty of that thing.
Tu yang best tu.
Yeah.
Like I suka jumpa dengan orang yang ada tattoo ni, and then like diorang punya tattoo design tu ada maksud dia tau. You know, I mean there are people out there yang dia tattoo dia tak ada maksud apa-apa, dia just macam oh design cantik,
aesthetic.
I'm just gonna get it. Tapi
Betul.
dia lagi best bila we jumpa dengan orang ni and then they have a story to tell. Tu yang best tu, because like we're appreciating the art tu, tapi macam like kita boleh appreciate this person ni punya story yang lebih kira macam deep. Boleh kenal orang ni macam lagi mendalam.
Okay, so this is compulsory question lah.
Okay.
Your first tattoo and what's the story behind it maybe?
I think my first tattoo doesn't have much meaningful reason.
I see.
I just do it because I felt like I need a first tattoo. Most of us have less thought through for their first tattoo, especially back then, because there doesn't have much customization happen during the time that I'm tattooing. Do something that I feel like, oh, I just want a tattoo, I just get something done. But eventually, slowly, when I start tattooing, I like, oh, you can actually do customization, or you can actually put a lot more stories inside. Then I slowly have more tattoos that's a bit more meaningful and something more prettier or like cute and fun stuff.
How do you kira macam like get rid that nervousness or like maybe like your doubt of like macam bila you nak start on artwork?
I like to talk to myself.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. When it comes to expressing myself, I'm not too good at it. So the best way is to just talk to myself. It's like you putting a background music at your back just to make yourself a bit more better. You still have to go through the challenge, but talking to yourself just makes things a bit more clear. It's kind of like putting things out from your mind and then restore it again. That's the fastest thing I could do when it faces this kind of problem.
I pernah dengar like the uncomfortable feeling yang kita rasa as a creative person is actually the tanda yang kita tengah grow. We are growing. So that feeling actually is a good thing for us. We have to feel that uncomfortable feeling.
Breaking through the cocoon.
Yes.
Kind of
Tapi kalau kita feeling all the time pun tak best
sakit
juga.
juga.
Bukan tak all the time. Tapi kalau kita constantly having that feeling, macam like have that feeling pun, kita pun jadi macam macam tu. Tapi
this is a darker side. I'm sorry to say something a bit negative. So not negative, it's positive at the same time. So because imposter syndrome is pretty serious for me. So now I'm actually slowly going through some therapy session just to like, it's not a bad thing because it's something that you cannot control sometimes. You're like you're thinking bad about yourself. So I'm starting like a therapy session just to try to figure out like how to get through this so I could, grow a better person in the future. Yeah.
It's okay to feel that, and it's okay for you to go to therapy ke, because the people have their own way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
So it's just, it depends on you lah. Kalau you rasa therapy works for you, go ahead. Kalau you rasa going out with your friends your way, then go ahead. So I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's important to have this kind of conversation.
Betul.
Because even when I look through podcasts, I don't want to just hear about glorifying things like, oh, I did my art with Nike and all this, because I don't feel relatable. I wanted to hear something more humane, like which is like I have gone through hard times. How do I deal with it? And maybe you could try this thing and maybe let's go through this together. I like to hear this kind of stuff. For me, sharing this, I just wish that people will understand that we all go through something. It's always not like glamorous and all. Even people like imagine tattoo artists like rock star, but it's actually not. It's a lot of hardship inside. So it's I think it's important to share that side of us, all of us as an artist, as a designer, whatever, so people will feel a bit more relatable. Nothing is picture perfect.
Betul.
Yeah.
Betul. Apa pun dia cakap tu, I agree.
Maybe you can tell us more about your style, because your style is actually unique and maybe it's kind of new dekat Malaysia, the art and also the tattoo style also lah.
I got influenced a lot by the early 80s and 70s or 90s kind of things, which things are very revolutionary. I inspired by that a lot. So for now, I'm actually a baby stage on to explore this part, because the current illustration style that I'm doing actually just started 2 years ago. And even my tattoo style is a bit more psychedelic because I'm shifting the way I do things. So now it's more focused on let's show people what they haven't seen before yet. But how am I going to elevate from it? I'm actually very excited to see, because if people can start accepting it, that's give me more rooms to grow from it. But now I'm just like trying to, in the surface, like shocking people's eye to see like, hey, we can actually do this on art and we can actually do this on tattoo in Malaysia. Let's not say overseas, because I believe overseas have like plenty of cool stuff already. But just Malaysia, like just show them that this is what we can do from the usual thing that you see. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, it's okay. I'll try to adjust myself to let you accept it, and then I will take my time to introduce more stuff like that to you until the point that you can accept it, and I can have more rooms. Every time someone accepting it, I have more rooms to grow and more rooms to show. Because I have did like for not illustration but tattoo stuff with drag elements inside, and it's very hard for people to understand. Like for example, I have this flashes. So flashes is design that we did for that we customize in the paper, and then we try to push that as a like art piece for tattoo kind of thing. So I did a flash series, which is wrestler, because I used to like watching wrestling when I was a kid. Wrestler dressing wigs and high heels, and then wearing like corsets and stuff. As a flash. So I have clients that they said that they like the thing, but it's not for them in their body. They think it's too feminine. They think it's a bit weird. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm just trying to push the boundaries. So a lot of things that I do, I'll just like just testing it, see how the market goes, because I think it's not a problem when people don't accept it. I just need to try harder So I'm just breaking the boundaries first and then see how people perceive it. In the future, people will start accepting more. Then I can do more stuff from. Yeah. So I'm actually a very baby stage, but
Okay, faham.
it's nice.
So when you mentioned apa flash, like flash, is that what you call
Yeah.
it, flash kan? So it's normal for you to macam like contoh lah a client datang to you kan,
Yeah.
and then contoh they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Contoh so that's when you present macam, hey, this is like
What we can do.
what I can do for you. So and then ada tak macam apa nama ni, stories yang macam that client tu macam like love at first sight. Contoh lah dia macam tengok and then dia nampak ni satu and then terus macam like, I want this.
Yeah, there is clients like that, and it's a very exciting moment for both of us if that happens. But also, I always felt that if that moment happened, it's very blessed because it's not very common at the same time. Because majority of Malaysians, when it comes to like arts and design and tattoos and all this, they have that specific idea how it should look like and how it would look like. So if you're breaking that idea, like, oh, this is not something that I usually look, they have like a love and hate moments at that time. So that's why a lot of talking had to be involved. I had to introduce how this whole thing works, why it looked like this and all this. Then it's slowly getting them comfortable to accept the work. So I have to do a lot of talking from there. But if they straight on like it, that means that we are on the right channel immediately.
Same wavelength.
Yeah, right
Macam me
channel
and you
immediately.
gang.
Yeah, you get it. And then that immediately could have more tattoos in the future. Yeah, but it's always a blessing because it's not very common to have clients like this all the time.
Not all the time
Not all
lah.
the
Dia
time.
memang jarang-jarang sangat
Yeah,
lah.
I've had to be like a salesman all the time just to introduce the work. But it's okay for me to do that because I feel like since people don't accept it, I have to be the person to slowly build out the room for people to accept it. Yeah.
Like banyak juga benda yang you kena buat, like apart from just you buat tattoo,
Crafting,
but like Po mention
Try
that
to
you need to
sell.
talk try to
Yes.
sell tu satu lah,
Betul.
and then nak talk to them, bukan ini macam convince them lah kan, right?
Yeah, I actually have a on and off switch button. So when I start working, my talking button is on
Straight away.
like now.
Yeah.
But if I'm not working, the button's off. Then I have to only talk to my cats. I'll talk to my cats because my brain just shut down at that time. But the reason why I started like this because I have a hard time of selling my work sometimes, and I always thought that it's fine, I don't need to talk, I just use my work to present. But then when I start tattooing, I realized that it's really important for me to introduce my work because most people needs a lot of convincing
Betul.
method to to make them believe that you are trustworthy, and then they want your stuff. So if you're just sitting there and waiting for them to accept, it's very hard, especially in Malaysia. So I took a long time to slowly build up my talking skills that I could sell my work or explain myself a little bit more properly. Yeah.
But I guess you're doing all right now kan? I mean, like, even though you're still learning, but like
not too bad.
compared
Sometimes
to
I
macam-
zone out very easily, which I didn't know, and then people have to pull me back. But I think I'm slowly getting better. Yeah, which
That's
is
good.
a good thing.
That's good. Ya, itulah. Kalau
Yeah.
kalau tak nanti macam orang nak apa macam nak pilih a design pun susah juga because diorang pun
betul.
datang kira macam bukan nak cakap tak tahu apa diorang nak, tapi macam mostly macam tak sure.
Yeah.
Design macam mana I nak ni kan. So I think like to have someone like you Po to be able to like macam explain, walk them through, like maybe try and like convince them with like
Yes.
some stories and
I'm trying to be more understanding of my side at the same time because I always told my clients that the reason why I'm doing this part is not because I'm talkative and all this, but I understand that in Malaysia we are not told to be expressive. So when it comes to expressing ourselves either in Malay or Chinese or English, it's very hard. I find it hard to express myself since I was a kid. So if I could be the person that bring this up, it will help other people to learn how to start expressing themselves because they don't know how important it is. And then I realize it's important. Then it will help them to like, okay, now you want to get a tattoo, right? Then you can do your research. Tell me how you feel about it, and then how you find your explain yourself with the reference and everything. Don't need to be professional, but if you can slowly step by step, it will be nice, and it will help them to understand that I need to do my part at the same time. So it's like a teamwork. Like I always tell people that having a tattoo done is like a teamwork. Yeah. So then it will help both of us to grow at the same time. with or without having a tattoo. Yeah.
She's a professional.
I'm very
The moment dia cakap teamwork tu dah I'm sold already. I tu like okay, dia ni
Thank you.
Dia ni memang tahu apa dia she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Because
My mind's still clear right now. I haven't zoned out yet.
okay, dia kena like cepat-cepat before the zone out balik, nanti tiba macam I kat mana ni? Macam tu.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, you guys will take me back.
But I like it bila you mention yang you cakap teamwork tu.
Yeah.
Dia macam it sounds refreshing to me.
Oh.
Like in a different perspective, because I didn't expect like macam a tattoo artist would say like macam okay,
something like
me and that person, macam like me and the artist and that client, macam like kita teamwork.
I'm like a combination of logical person and an artistic person. But when I was young, I'm a bit too artistic, so I had to put the logical person in now, so it makes more sense. Or else, if I'm too artistic, people are just like, I don't understand what you're doing.
Betul.
And then if they don't understand, they won't accept it.
True.
So the logical side of me have to come out like, okay, I'm gonna guide you out to present in the proper way to people, so you look like a normal person. If you want to say crazy, even if you want to say crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But you can see a lot of crazy stuff on my work, on my drawings.
Nice crazy stuff lah.
Nice crazy
nice
stuff.
ones.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us about your best work that you have done, or maybe your favorite one.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Maybe the latest one lah.
The latest one I did for the art was the one that I drew boobies.
Oh.
I know it looks very haram from the visual, but what it meant is actually just women's body. I like to use body as a thing for my art. When I look back, I was like also wondering like why I keep drawing, naked bodies and body parts. I guess it's just related to my work, because I interact with skin a lot when I start tattooing. So to me, skin is just part of a body, and also it's like a, what do you call it, like a platform for art. So I don't think of it as something sexual, so I kind of using that to my art itself to present something that I was probably thinking at that moment, but I don't really have like a deep description of what I usually do when it comes to art or tattoo design, because a lot of people pointing at the stuff like, oh, what is this? Most of the time, I don't know. There's just a lot of things in my head that I wasn't able to express, and I just put it on the paper. Also with tattooing, I usually would try to set a theme and I draw it out, and I would try to think back, why did I draw all this? For the boobies, it's just that because I was drawing. Before I draw this thing, I was back to my hometown to with my sister. She came to visit in KL, so we have this thing that we like to shower together. So when we showered together since we were a kid, so also nothing special about it. Just we showered since we were a kid, just like a kid thing that we do. Like we just get used to it. And now she has a daughter. Now 3 of us shower together, and it's like I think it's fun because for the kids, like I've never seen like an older woman's body. This is how it looks like, and I think it was a fun thing to do. We have a lot of laugh and all this when we shower together. And then since I showered first since I was a kid, so we were a kid. So I can see the drastic change of her body. So it just makes me think like, wow, this is, like you see your sister is growing throughout the years, and then you also growing at the same time. I just felt like, wow, we've all grown, and then now you gave birth, you have a child. There's so much drastic change of on your body. I was thinking that maybe I could just draw something out from it to show people that something about nurture, and then something about body parts. And then in the drawing, I actually draw like 2 boobies. There's like baby heads coming out from the nipples. So it's just like something nurturing from it. But the whole thing, it looks a bit not very halal and very abstract and all this. It was my favorite piece because I realized people like it. I like it myself, but then I realized people also like it. You just make it more better. Yeah. For the tattooing, I think most pieces all the pieces I did, I actually like it a lot. Because it's a lot of teamwork with my clients. So everything that comes out and clients like it and I like it, I just felt very happy. Yeah.
I think that's very important lah. Like you need to love and like what you do.
Yes.
Betul.
But that's why I said emotional. You have to be very stable emotionally, because you do mistake and then you hate yourself at one point, but you have to move on. So this is like a long process I have to go through, and then you just have to promise yourself you have to do better and better all the time. So now I'm working with Wankali Tattoo Shop, and then they are famous doing like bold lines and tattoo that lasts really long. So the reason why I joined it because I wanted to do good tattoos and I want to learn the history about it. So then from here I kind of feel like I'm elevating to a different era now. Back then I was focusing on making tattoo that looks pretty. Now I'm focusing on tattoo that lasts longer. Yeah. So my master, Haiyuan, from Haiyuan Tattoo Studio, he actually teach me about how to make tattoo pretty, which helps me a lot from illustrator to become a tattoo artist, because it's a very different kind of way of looking at things on paper and onto skin. So when I was working with him, it took me a long time to figure that out and into how to master the skill. But then in between that, after I left the shop, I took a long time to juggle things up, like to figure out, okay, what kind of tattoo artist want to be. So now I'm in the stage that I wanted to tattoo not just looking pretty, I want to last longer, because it's going to be forever. So instead of just focusing on pretty, why not just let it still looks nice when you're 70 and 80 years old.
I ada soalan, tapi ni macam tak ada kena dengan tu lah, tapi still tattoo base lah. So untuk, you know how like some people kan dia suka buat sleeves lah, is that what you call it? How long it takes like
to complete the sleeve?
To complete it. Before this start, I tak pernah sembang with any tattoo artist. You're the first one tau. So that's what I really want to know. Macam like contoh lah one sleeve, right? Berapa lama?
So there's two ways of doing a sleeve. One is by just a full one piece into one design onto a sleeve, or you doing patch by patch. So like the tattoo you see on my skin, I know people can't see it right now, but tattoo skin on my skin is patch by patch. So it can take years to slowly complete all this, because if I found something that I like and I put on it, but it takes about 2 years, 3 years, they found something that I like, or it can take really fast. Some clients of mine, they look more like a tattoo artist than me, because they do everything one shot in 1 year. They just keep doing more tattoos one by one. But those can take years. But if you're doing it in one shot, like a full piece of it, it could take less than a year or more than a year. But it won't be more than 2-3 years lah.
Oh, the years Dia bukan yang macam
one shot
like dia duduk.
Because you're still creating scar and creating wounds on your skin. So imagine how much pain you can take in a day. That's a lot easier to understand. If your body can take 12 hours pain, it's good. But tattoo artists can also only work for the 8 hours, because we have to stand there, sit there the whole day. So it's really about how your body and the energy takes.
I swear I thought
if you want, we could.
No lah. So I swear, like I thought like the client tu akan duduk situ sampai dia punya sleeve tu finish. Sebab dia macam, it looks like macam one set of ni kan, kira macam like art. So I ingat mati-mati I ingat dia akan duduk situ. Lepas tu kan kalau kita tengok movie, kita tahu lah macam like dia baring duduk situ kan. Lepas tu dia macam tunggu je untuk tattoo artist.
Imagine the most badass person with full tattoos that you see on a movie. They might be crying on the tattoo chair because there's so much pain. It's still pain at the end of the day. Imagine someone is using a knife to scrape your skin for 10 hours. Of course, everyone's experience pain in a different way. Some people feel the pain like an end bite, or some people feel like something's cutting your skin. Everyone describes it in a different way, but it's still pain at the end of the day. So it takes a lot of pain and patience to finish the thing. Why do I say patient? Because when you're getting a tattoo, or when you're tattooing, it has to fully prepare mentally and physically. You have to eat well, sleep well before you start tattooing, because you need a lot of energy to take the pain and the blood. This is all scientific. Everyone learns tattoo in a different way. We have friends or people that we know, they probably didn't start in a much more the proper way, but they're still trying their best to be the best artist in the world. So everyone started in a different way, but always to be patient with the result, because if you're trying to make money fast to come in, if you want trying to become the fastest people to get famous with tattoo, it will get you somewhere immediately, but you will fall at the same time very fast. So all of us in our tattoo scene actually takes a lot of patience to be where we are right now. Even till now, I'm still learning. Even I've been tattooing more than 10 years. Like the people that I know, sometimes 16 years, 17 years, 14 years, they're still learning, and then they still put a lot of patience on becoming better. So I think patience is one thing that a lot of young artists needs to understand, and because with social media nowadays, everything is fast. You just swipe, you can get this thing. You can just swipe, you can achieve that thing, or you just take a photo, you can just immediately become famous. So I think the environment making them less patient, and I felt that you just need to accept that things just need to take time. Yeah, you have to really understand that, because that's still the fact, still the reality now we have to face. I don't know, maybe after 10-20 years the future will change, things will get much faster. But for now, patience is something that it needs to be done and need to be acknowledged, and also understanding lah.
Okay, so maybe you can tell us where we can find Apo-Apo in social media or any platform.
For now I only have Instagram.
Okay.
So I have 2 pages. One is a tattoo page, which is Alliance APOH, so which is Apo-Apo. That's my tattoo page where I put all my tattoo works over there. And then the other one was my art page, where I focus doing my art, which is Alliance Apo-Apo. ARTPOHAPOH. The reason why I separate both is because like I mentioned earlier, that a lot of people doesn't understand like why tattoo artists are artists at the same time. So for separating my work, it can get them a different views. And then when time comes, when everything is a bit more balanced, and I slowly merge back to it. Yeah, because my tattoo work and my art is very different. My usual art thing is very different at the same time. So both have different freedom and creativity. So I want to showcase different kind of things for people, so that people can, accepting both first, and then in the future when I want to merge together, it'll be much easier for me to introduce my work. Yeah, so I have 2 Instagram. Website, I haven't started yet, so slowly. Yeah.
Soon. Mana tahu in the future kan. You
never know.
Website semua dia punya work.
I'm trying
dengan
to
dia
do
punya
that.
stories.
Yeah.
Dekat website tu dia letak dia punya stories
I'm trying to make a website. I did have a website before, but then I start going back to work, but getting busy, and I can't ignore that, neglected that website. But yeah, I hope that soon, if I have time, I will try to have a website soon, because if I want to grow my art, I have to have a proper website, so I can show overseas clients what kind of things I'm doing. Yeah.
Maybe boleh linkkan ke kita punya link podcast kita.
Sure.
This episode ada
I'm
link.
on here. That's my portfolio.
Okay, so
I think let's thank you so much for
Thank you
dropping by
so
this.
much.
It was so fun like talking to you.
It's
like,
my first podcast. I'm having a good
No,
experience.
iya ke?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, keluarkan trofi bagi dia. First podcast.
I cannot take this mic away. I think this is like
And then dah lah, like Po is our first female guest, so dia
I'm
macam
so honored.
Betul.
macam like universe macam align macam.
I hope that people who listen about this, you don't need to have a tattoo, or you don't need to want to have a tattoo, but to understand how this whole thing works. And I'm sharing my experience as an artist. Let's not say tattoo artist or artist, but just the artist. I hope it helps a bit here and there, because that's why I hear podcasts a lot before this, to make myself better and learn from other people. So for me, sitting here to share the same experience is like, wow. it's surreal. Yeah. So thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for dropping by. I macam still macam thank you for coming. Macam tu.
No worries.
Okay, so Zoul, I think
sampai kita berjumpa lagi
in the next episode lah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much guys
Thank you
for
so
listening
much.
to
Thank you,
Po, and also
Po.
thank you so much for listening to podcast Sembang Ber-ART, dan jumpa lagi di episod akan datang.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.